What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to another episode of Cut Different. It's your boy G. Today I got with me little Kirk Franklin.
I can't do
Just kidding, guys. I got brother Tony in here with me. How you doing today, Tony?
I'm good.
So, I was trying to start this conversation before I hit the record, but what I was telling Tony, what I was going to have a discussion with Tony is every time you have a conversation with people that don't necessarily go to church, don't necessarily read the Bible, but they proclaim to be Christians, you get a lot of like fight when you have this conversation. You get a lot of fight, like they don't, no matter what you saying to them, they got a rebuttal and they got something that they have some sort of strife with Christianity. But this is what you proclaim, but you don't read the Bible. You know, and like I was telling you, it's like watching a good movie and they haven't seen the movie, but they can tell you everything about it. Mm-hmm. Like you can tell me what happened on Avengers, where you didn't watch it, but they was fighting in it. Like, obviously. Yeah. Yeah, so the Bible is about Jesus. Yeah, Jesus is in the Bible. But you can give me all this information and keep regurgitating all this stuff that you've heard. Because, as black people, we come from that system of the griot. And we share stories, and before things became tainted, usually when you transfer stories from the past to the present, it was usually at least 99% factual. You didn't go around just spreading stuff.
Right.
So, and that's how we came up with a lot of the things about Christianity, a lot of the things about our history. Those things were transferred into books because people were holding factual information. They was writing on the walls. They was writing in the scrolls. That's right. And they transferred this. Mm-hmm. And one thing I like to share with people, when I did seminary school a while back, this when I was saved. When I was saved. You remember that conversation. I came to you with that. The Bible is the most disputed book on earth. On record. Wow. Most disputed. Everybody has tried to dispute the Bible. Everybody is trying to say, well, that didn't happen. But you got, on both sides, you hear some arguments, but I'm a Christian, so I speak on this side of it. That you got atheists, agnostics, professors in seminary school. Yeah. Because they're more on the theologian side of things. They're more on the historic, proven side of things. Absolutely. And they choose to work inside this realm because it's a proven fact. Now, I got another conversation for that. Okay. Which is weird for me. Like, okay, so you can prove all of this and you still not a believer.
Yeah. Ain't that something?
Yeah, I used to go back and forth on my emails with my professor, like, how you gonna... Never mind. So, how you gonna tell me all of this is true, but you don't believe it?
Ain't that something?
Well, a lot of them will tell you, him in particular will tell you they just didn't subscribe to any religion or religious group, but a lot of what they taught were proven facts. Mm-hmm. There was a Paul. There was a Jesus. Yeah. There was a John the Baptist. Yeah. You know what I mean? Things like that. So that's crazy to me. Like, you know this, but anyway. But back to the topic that we're on. And I'm sorry to be long-winded because I really want you to chime in on this. I'm just setting the stage of the conversation that a lot of people have all these issues within the realm of church and God, but they're not inside of it. They hadn't really, a lot of people just cracked the door, and when they met a little bit of resistance, they closed it right back. Yeah. Like Sister Mary at church, she didn't let me sit by my friends. So So you know how church people just hypocrites. They ain't nice. And a lot of people grade us that way.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of people grade us this way. Something interesting that I heard, and I am long-winded, I feel it. Something interesting, because I'm excited about this topic.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it because we touched on it before.
Yes.
And we never really went all the way in on it.
That's right.
So, wrapping it up, I know one thing that I don't want to forget before I bring you in on this conversation is that for a lot of us, as soon as someone starts speaking about their church hurt or their offenses within the realm of church and God, one thing from a psychological standpoint, which I love that standpoint also, is that if you don't let people get it out, you add on to it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? You have to let them purge those feelings. Kind of like when we all over the Bible, there's a confession and correction. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So if we don't allow them to get that total feeling out, and sometimes you have to help them. Like, well, what happened?
Right. Absolutely.
You know, well, what went on?
Absolutely.
Even though you've heard the story 1,000 times, and some of our listeners are actually going through this right now. They have so much anger. Like, you can see that one of the most nicest people, you know what I mean? Nicest person that you run into, you bring up church to them, and it's just like that devil face come on. Like they get so mad.
Yep. Continence.
So mad.
Yep.
But that face and that feeling usually has a face attached to it.
Absolutely.
Or incident attached to it.
Yep.
There's a person.
That's right.
Attached to this feeling.
Yep.
So, come on in, Tony. And
So if you think about this, with something you were saying earlier, when somebody just like they crack the door and they say, they didn't really go in, but they got a piece of it.
You visited your grandma's church,
right? So now, how did they get to that point? How did they get to that point? You got to look. How did you get to that point? To automatically see you. Oh, you was already expecting something to be wrong.
Yeah.
Why? Because you heard it.
Yeah.
From somebody else that was already hurt.
Yeah. You got a preset already.
Yeah, you already preset.
Yeah.
So they didn't already preset your mind. So when you go in there, they don't let you sit. Something simple as that. By your friend or in the right place that you thought you should be sitting, all of a sudden, I knew this was going to happen. Because your mind was already looking for something to be wrong.
Yeah.
And that's what happens all the time.
And then you combine that story with the stories you heard before, and you compile all of this, and you go tell somebody else, like, that's your experience.
Right.
You know, they just didn't let your baby sit out here with you, and they had Sunday school. That's how that church ran. But you associated that with everything else you heard, and you made this is an attack on me now. They don't, church people like this. People that say they Christians are like this.
Right.
But you walk around with crosses and tattoos that tell the world that you love God.
You know. Man, don't stop with that.
No, I'm not.
But look.
Because I'm on both sides of it.
Right, absolutely.
We all are. We've all had some kind of transgression in church.
Man, listen.
Yeah.
I know I have. Plenty.
Yeah.
But how did I get there?
Yeah.
I got there 2 ways. Even in the church. When I go in, okay, I say I was in this fellowship and everything was going great. And what happened, somebody, you know, we have a business meeting or whatever, and it's just going, you know, no, this ain't right. So now you kind of voice that and say, no, this ain't right. And everybody just gang up on you because they wanted to go this way. And you saying, well, we got protocols in place, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So now they looking at you cross-eyed.
Right.
And you feel it. Come on. You feel when, okay, things ain't right. Then they stop talking to you. So now you like, okay, just because I brought up an issue that I, you know, from my perspective, I thought wasn't beneficial for the body or the fellowship or whatever. So what happens is, how did I get there? I got there and I took that personally. Why? Because my expectation was so high for the people that was up in those positions. Now, because why? I've really taken my eye off of the prize, which is what? Christ, and put it on who? Man. Yeah. And my expectation of them was so high. And when they didn't meet the expectation, what? I'm hurt. Because now I'm saying, wait a minute. I put all my chips on you. And now you done turned on me.
Right.
But that way, you weren't supposed to put all your chips on them.
Right.
So
you saying when they go to church, they shouldn't expect a whole bunch of baby Jesus Juniors in church?
Absolutely.
What? You saying Christians ain't perfect?
That's what I'm saying.
What?
Man, listen. Listen. We are so jacked up.
Yeah.
We got issues just like anybody else. We ain't no different. We go through the same thing. The only difference is we have something to keep us and kind of reel us back in.
Some of us.
Mm-hmm. And some of us don't let the Spirit of God reel us back in.
Right.
We just go with our feelings and emotions, and it messes everything up. Listen, man. You got people in the church. Listen. Why do you think they call it so-called a hospital? Because people in there hurting. Mm-hmm. From the pastor all the way down to the lady greet you at the door. Yeah. All of them got issues.
I talk to a lot of pastors, they never wanted to be one.
Absolutely. And then you got a lot of them, if you talk to them enough, they'll tell you, I want to quit all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've known pastors that's been trying to quit for the last 20, 30 years. They'll tell you once a month, hey, I don't know if I should be doing this anymore.
That's just a fact.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And just being a Christian, we all have those points where we question, you know what I mean, whether or not we're there. You know what I mean? Whether or not that connection, because sometimes you feel like you don't have it, or sometimes you're going those spills because this is a life.
That's right.
Your relationship, just like with other people, it's not going to always be like this.
you
know what I mean? It's not going to always be like that. So that means that you're dealing with people that have relationships just like you.
Yes.
Just like you. They have experiences just like you. So these people, you're looking at these people to be Jesus to you.
Yeah.
Every time you see him, you know, the Spirit for those of us that are truly seeking him and have that relationship with God, and we trying to maintain that relationship with God. I won't say it's seeking, but maintaining that relationship, because it's like maintenance on your car. You got to always,
absolutely.
You know what I mean? And buying tires, you know what I mean? Just all kinds. I can use a car for so many scenarios.
Yeah.
But you got that going on, and we don't look in the mirror when we're going at people, or we going at when we're dealing with certain things like, hey, you got to go to marriage counseling sometimes, or you have to hug your child and say I'm sorry, or your child have to do it to you. So you having that relationship with everything else, but you don't bring that type of thinking when you deal with this arena. And you have to apply it all over the board, because, hey man, just like we were saying, it's some hurt people over here too.
Oh man.
And they gonna say they not always gonna be nice.
That's it.
They not don't look for them to be what you read in the Bible. Paul wasn't always nice. Peter, switchblade.
Listen.
You know
that's
what I mean?
pretty good. And a lot of them, man, we look at. Now think about this. I like what you said, and I'm gonna add on to that. It's relationship. It's a relationship, not a work. I say this because what happens is we go into a church, a building, what we call a church. A church is really us, but we go into this building, this setting where we say everything is supposed to be safe, right? And we start working. Oh, I go to Sunday school. I teach. You know, I do the Sunday school thing, and They tell me I need to work over here, so I work over here. And then when something goes wrong, first thing I say, well, I've been working here doing all this stuff, and y'all treat me like this? Now, wait a minute. It ain't about the work. Did you build a relationship? Okay, because it's like family, right? We family, right?
Yeah.
So now, you may say something that hurt my feelings. Now, will I leave? Because most people, when they get church hurt, what they say, they leave. They go somewhere else. They say, I don't have to deal with this, and I'm not going to deal with it. Mm-hmm. But we family. Say me and you, we family. Mm-hmm. So now you say something. I don't agree. I'm just going to leave y'all. I won't talk to you no more. See, that ain't happening. Yeah. Because we family. So eventually I'm going to see you, and I'm going to be like, hey, bruh, what's going on?
Well, I mean, you got some people that deal with their family like that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So now they don't no longer have a relationship, a loving relationship. Mm-hmm. Now it was just a work.
Mm. I see you now. Yeah.
It was just a work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, kind of like your job.
That's all it was. That's all it was. My job, because we family. All it was my job to be nice with you. It wasn't a relationship.
Ooh, that just checked me. I just thought about a few different occasions. Yeah, and we have to. Wow, man, that stuck me right there, because now I'm thinking about how applying that thought towards how people are with church. It's like, so, like when you leave this job, you don't go back and visit Winn-Dixie. You at Publix now. You ain't going to shop there no more.
Right.
I'm over here at Publix.
Right.
You know? So I cut all ties with even dealing with that last job. But in the Christian realm, we're all connected to the same body.
There you go. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I don't cut off my relationship with you. If it's anything, just like some of the scriptures in the Bible, if I'm offended. You know what I mean?
Come on.
We're supposed to have a conversation about it.
That's it, brother. You know what I mean? That's it.
But when you cut off the tie like some of us do in our earthly relationships, our relationships outside of, the church realm, some of us do the whole, once we cut you off, we done. Uh-huh. It's nothing else. And if you have a toxic type of way of dealing with relationships already, when you come over to this side, that's one of the things that I miss about having the elders in church.
Yeah.
Because everybody's all hip hop now in church, but we bringing that same energy with it. It's good. It attracts more people. You know what I mean? Because everybody ain't clothed and
right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Everybody ain't got sad music playing.
Right, absolutely.
So, but we bringing that along with that new energy that's been injected into Christianity. There's also some negativity that comes with that, because a lot of us have broken relationships, and a lot of that energy comes from a broken place.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
I agree.
A toxic way of dealing with stuff.
Yep, that's right.
So if you got to come in church with that "try me" mentality, and that spreads throughout your church, every season your church look different. It's different characters. It's like,
man.
They get rid of pastors, they get rid of boards, they get rid of everybody like that.
Yes.
Everybody be going like that.
Yes.
It's no longer a family. You got a whole bunch of stepdaddies and stepmamas and stepchildren. Ain't nobody saying, like, I didn't grow up with these people. Now, I'm one of the people that don't believe that you necessarily have to, like, stay at one church your entire life. I do believe that we're all connected once we say we up under Him.
Absolutely.
Hey, I should be able to go to everybody's church.
And that is so key. Now, I want to realize, and what you said is so true. You should be able to go to everybody's church, right? Mm-hmm. Now, that's so true. Because why? Because I should be able to come to you because you are the church.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I should be able to come to you no matter where you at.
Yeah.
No matter where in your spiritual growth you are, I should be able to come to you. Because now you're the church. Because what happens is we focus more on the building, and we say we coming to church. No, the church is you. So as you move and as you interact with people, that is who they see. That's the church. Because anything else is just a building. Remember when Christ was saying, hey, he was saying, y'all, I'm going to paraphrase this. Y'all looking at all these pretty buildings. This stuff going to be tore down. Because it's just a building. Mm-hmm. But what's in you will always remain. So what we have, if we got Christ in us, now we are the church. So now you should be able to go to any church.
All right.
No matter if it's black, white, Mexican, whatever it is. But what happens is, what comes with church hurt is, again, our expectations of where we're going.
Yeah, we have the expectations of Christ when we're dealing with people. And that's crazy. And I was also trying to look in the Bible yesterday. And I was trying to look for the address for Jesus Church.
You know what?
They didn't have
I don't
it
know
in
what.
there. I
You
know it was somewhere.
It ain't in there.
So, and a lot of us feel like, I said that to say that churches it's got to be in the building. Just to come, I'm pretty much backing up what you're saying with that. That people look for that building or that location to be the only way that they can fellowship.
That's right.
Or gain more understanding, get some stuff off of them, and that's not you can't look for that location to be everything to you like that.
That's it, bro.
But a lot of us, we only feel a lot of traditional Christians. Those old school Christians, people that have been raised up behind people like that. The only way you feel close to God is you get in that building.
That's true. That's true now. That's a fact.
Yeah, and that's necessary for them. And it's not bad.
Right.
Totally.
No.
That you feel like every Sunday you need to be in church. You need to be dressed this type of way to go to church. If that's the way you find your comfort in church, find you a church like that.
That's right. Absolutely.
Now, for those that choose to wear T-shirts and flip-flops to church,
like me,
there's a church for them too. Or if you have one of them people coming to your church where they shiny suited up, they got the hair laid to the side and big church hats on, and you see somebody walk through the door in a T-shirt and some flip-flops, you know what I mean? It shouldn't be a problem.
That's right.
Shouldn't be a problem. Now, okay, so I'm gonna start throwing out some things that I've heard, and I hope you share some things that you. What's the purpose of church? Why should I go to church? I'm speaking for some of the brothers that's listening.
Yeah.
And some of the conversations that I've had throughout my life.
You know what? I can say this. The atmosphere is different. Because I could, like right now, I'm going to give you a perfect example, right? This is perfect. The pandemic hit, right? So everybody really went online to broadcast hours. So you didn't have to leave the house. You didn't have to do nothing. You could just get up, click your thing on your TV, and you could see it online.
Oh, that work from home relationship.
Oh yeah, well you know it. and you know what? It's pretty good because I was saying to my wife that, hey, you get the same experience.
Do you?
No, that's what I was telling my wife. I said, you get the same experience. You can, hey, just roll over. You don't have to put no clothes. You don't have to put nothing on. You can just roll over and turn it on. There it is. And everything's the same. But it's not the same. Going into a place where you can actually see people's faces and say, what's going on? How you doing? Because now you never know. Your smile may make the total difference in someone's life that day. You're asking a conversation to say, man, how you doing? They may not have got that all week long, but got a bunch of junk. And when you say, man, how you doing? Man, I missed you. And that changes their whole outlook on how the world has been bombarding them with a bunch of crap. And now you just give them what? That love. It changes things. Yeah. And that's what makes us, because it said, fail not to assemble yourself. And that's what it's for. So we can uplift each other. We could talk to each other. We could bounce stuff off each other. Hey, man, I'm having this issue. Oh, really? Dude, I'm having the same issue.
And this don't even have nothing to do with the Bible or something.
No.
Like, dude, I got something missing on my car.
Absolutely.
Don't you have a car like, didn't you used to have a car like mine?
See that? Yeah. See, and that's what we need, bro. We need to interact with one another. And like, I love what you just said. Because it ain't got to be about this church, about the Bible. It's just about us living. Mm-hmm. And living as children of God and being helpers of one another.
That's something that I like about the new energy. It takes away that facade that we used to have of, hey, brother, how you doing? Well, you know, God is good.
Yeah.
God is
Man.
good. That ain't even a real conversation. That takes me back from you. I'll ask you how you doing, man. I'm good, man. You know, a long week. You got a week that's similar to mine. Now I can relate. If this is a relationship, it got to be relatable. I got to be able to relate to you. And I know your wife just left you with them kids. You know what I mean?
Come on, bro.
I know your mom just passed away. I know your son just graduated college. You know what I mean? Now you in the house by yourself. You know, and you was a single mom. Now you looking for your place again. Because that was everything to you. If I can't get a real conversation with you, I can't relate.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
That's right.
I can't have a conversation where, well, hey, we having a cookout next weekend. Come over here with us.
Because what? You had a conversation. You knew his situation. And when he spilled it out to you, you say, look, man, nah. Hey, man, we having a cookout. You need to come.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, if he say, nah, I'm good. No, I tell you what, I'm going to pick you up at such time and I'm going to bring you over to this cookout. Because I know you need it.
Yeah, because I know if you don't do this, everything else is available to you. You're going to be sitting in the house on a Saturday night drinking that wine. That phone going to ring after 10 o'clock. And old Sam and Sam going, hey, what you doing? You know what I mean?
That's right.
Or Keisha going to be like, what you doing?
That's
you know
it.
What I mean? So if I have a relationship, if I'm building this relationship with you, that's the importance of me keeping myself right, on the right road.
That's right.
I got people around me. I don't necessarily know the details, or I don't have to know the details of your struggle.
Right.
Because I feel like sometimes church people come too far into your house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, you don't have to let them run your life.
That's right.
They don't have to do that. But if I have a rapport with you where we can talk about certain things, and I know what's going on in your life, well, I don't want you to fall. You know what I mean? Because I remember how it was when I fell.
That's right.
And I don't need to approach you like, hey, you know what I mean? Snatch you out of whatever your life is because I want to be so aggressive. But one thing my mother always said was, you get more bees with honey.
Yes.
Way more bees.
That's really actually saying.
And a lot of times if we too aggressive in our approach, like, invite them. And if you consistently inviting somebody, hey, I'm passing. My wife passing by your house on the way to the cookout, or when you know what I mean. Or you gonna be in that area.
Yeah.
You know, there's something going on there. Why don't we go kick it and go listen to some jazz in the park? You know what I mean?
That's right.
We go hang out. You know, we invite some people and we hang out. Now, Keisha can't call you tonight after you don't had a couple glasses of wine and have you think, well, it's all right. We both saved. She can come over here. It's just 11 o'clock on a Saturday. What can happen after this movie go off that we probably gonna watch? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The light's gonna go out.
Yeah. Well, you may need to be more concerned about what's gonna come off.
Yeah, right. And you know what? Something that you just said, man, bruh, is all that you just said. That, hey, I'm talking to you. I see you. My wife passed by your house. oh, you gonna take this, you gonna come to this cookout. What'd you just have? We just had church.
Yeah. And these are just examples of some of the things that benefit us when we are fellowshipping and assembling amongst other believers.
That's right.
That it can help you in those areas. So to me, that's great. And I do love this new energy in church, like kill that old dialogue, that fake dialogue we used to have.
And that's what it was.
You know what I mean?
A lot of
God is good, brother, and keep on moving. I said, like, dude, I don't...
Didn't say nothing. You didn't help me nowhere.
No.
Because our conversation was so limited. Mm-hmm. You never learned nothing about me. All you said was, bro, how you doing? God is good. Well, okay, what does that mean? I mean, what?
Love God and love his people. Those are the basic tenets of being a Christian. If you don't have time for people, if you don't want to develop any relationships with people, that don't mean you have to be a social butterfly. But some of the relationships and the people that are in your life or are in your vicinity, you know, there's somebody for all of us.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That don't mean that's your wife. That don't mean that's your husband. That don't mean y'all going to be best friends. But something. It's kind of like having a neighbor. You in the subdivision, you in the neighborhood, and your neighbor got an issue you know about. Hey, I'm going to go next door and give you this card. Hey, he hooked me up.
That's right.
I'm going to hook you up. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I don't have to be in your house. I ain't got to be in your business. We ain't got to be best of friends. But we have a rapport with one another that where we can look out.
Man, listen, bro. And to that point,
yeah,
a good example was my neighbor, a tree had fell, and it was kind of in the street from her house. Man, listen. If you would have thought that everybody around in that area lived in that house. Because everybody was out there, man, getting chainsaws and just doing whatever it took. She didn't ask nobody. But the relationship, the rapport that we have with everybody kind of in that area was like, oh, nah, we need to help out. Plus, we know what? Because of our conversation, just being cordial, she's a single mother with a little girl. And when you see she has a problem, or anybody has a problem, guess what? You go out there and help. But guess what? Did I go out there and say, oh, God is so good, he's giving me the strength to help you because the love of God is... No. I showed the love of God without saying anything by doing what needed to be done to help. See, because down the line, as we keep showing that, guess what? Eventually, they're going to say, it's something. And now, from all that they didn't want to go to church because of somebody church hurt, then they say, well, these people are displaying something totally different than what I've heard. Mm-hmm. You see?
Yeah.
Or what I peeked in and my expectation was so high, but these people are something totally different. I ain't seen this before. Mm-hmm. And that's what God wants us to do and to show. And that way, everything, like you said, now, as our communication with our brothers and sisters and anybody that we come in contact with, it's all about what you said earlier. It's about relationship.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know how in the world is dealing with, especially in our community, we're dealing with the cancel culture. You know,
yes.
That's been a big conversation. We're also pretending that cancel culture thing is not in church too. We've had cancel culture much longer than the world been dealing with it.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's like a consumer's approach. It's like you want to try this food over here, but you're going on the restaurant website and you want to read all the reviews on it. But that's that person's. And if you look at some of the reviews be so personal.
Yes, absolutely.
I didn't like the way they looked at me when I walked in the door. They didn't let me sit down in regular clothes. It's a fancy restaurant, but you want to wear sneakers here. So what? Somebody else got away with it. but you knew the rules of this restaurant when you went there.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So you want to leave something nasty about, well, somebody else had on Jordans, and I came up there with Adidas, and I should have been treated the same way. Yeah, true. You should have. I'm pretty sure that other person that you seen, there was probably somebody else in there with some sneakers on too. But, you know, just using this as an example, you were the one that got caught, so you got mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got mad and you writing this long review on how you feel, and now somebody else that's easily influenced is reading this review. I don't want to support that. What if I want to wear sneakers? You don't even wear sneakers.
Right. What if you want to wear?
Well, what if I want to, though? They chicken ain't going to taste good. You know what I mean? Them collard greens ain't seasoned. Because they don't let you wear sneakers and eat them. You know what I mean? That's a lot of people have these crazy ideas. If you ever took the time to read reviews, it's ridiculous.
And you know what? I guess that's why I don't read a whole bunch of them. I do read some, though.
Yeah.
I do read some.
I stopped reading them. I stopped reading them after it's pure entertainment if you're bored, especially if you're bored. If you're bored reading reviews, you're like, oh, for real, that happened? You're like, I want you, do you mind leaving your number so we can talk about this?
I did read. You know? It's funny that you said I read something the other day, man, about a restaurant that I hear on the radio. I'm not going to name names. But when I start reading the reviews, I'm like, man, I ain't going there. See how easy? I don't even know what it is. I don't even know. And check this out. Me and my wife, we went down to Tennessee. And there was a restaurant. We said, man, let's just try this restaurant. And as a guy, his family was coming out. African-American family. He was coming out. So I'm thinking, man, let me just ask him. Because the plate's pretty expensive. I'm looking at the menu. I'm like, man. So I asked him, I said, hey, man. I said, you know, bro, hey, how you doing? He said, I'm okay. I said, well, it was him, his wife, and another lady and a little girl. I think it was a little girl with him. I said, how was the restaurant? Man, it ain't worth the money. It ain't worth it. It wasn't good. Man, you know what I did? I said, hey, we getting up out. I told my wife, I said, man, they said it ain't good. We're gonna leave. Mm-hmm. Soon as we said that, the man said, hey, your table's ready. And we my wife said, well, we're here now. Man, when that was the best food, man, that food was so good.
You don't never ask a man, because you know he going to tell you based on what he spent.
Man, that's what it was. And it was so much food, and the food was excellent.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I told my wife, I said, man, I'm glad we didn't leave.
Yeah.
Because if we'd have left, just listen to people, not even experiencing for ourselves, we would have missed out. Mm-hmm. And that's the same thing with church. We listen to people, and we miss out.
That's what I was gonna bring around to. Right there.
Yeah.
Keep on going. Yeah, that right there is essentially what happens with a lot of different things, and particularly with church.
Yeah.
And with God.
Yeah, that's right.
Like we listening to these reviews, and this is their account.
Yes.
And it's a one-sided.
That's right. It's one-sided.
What they thought about it.
That's right.
What they not really telling you, hey, this is why this happened.
Correct.
They leaving that part out. They only gonna tell you the results of what actually happened.
That's so
you know
true.
What I mean? I remember when I was about 15, 16 years old, and we visited a church, and I had earrings in my ear. And I was so stubborn at that point. I was working. I had a little money in my pocket. I had got me some earrings. And we went to one of them old school churches. The usher came to the door. No, you ain't coming in here with that earring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, let's say she was fully founded on the Bible, and she thought a lot of things about certain things. And this wasn't my home church.
Right.
Just like if you don't smoke in your house, or you don't drink in your house, or you don't like cursing in your house, and I come visit you, should I be gung-ho about how I do things in your house?
No.
You know what I mean? And I remember sharing this story with my mother, and it really didn't just hit me until just right now.
Uh-huh.
I shared the story with my mother. My mother never went back to that and preached at that church, never did choirs at that church. She never went back to that church. Not that I can think of. I don't think she did. And she was heated. She was like, why didn't I tell her at the church? Well, I guess God had a lot to do with that because I wasn't mature enough to make that decision. But I knew I didn't want to tell her at the church. I waited until we got far enough away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This was in a different city. We was in Jacksonville. That was in Lake City. It was an hour ride. I waited till we got far enough away. There wasn't no turning around.
Right.
To address this. But that was their house. And that's how the people that attended that church conducted themselves.
Yes.
So, but me being 15, 16, and stubborn teenager, I kept my earring on and stayed outside because I refused to do it, which was another excuse for me not to go to church that day. Even though 3 hours of my day, I was sitting outside. You know what I mean? I was still there.
Yeah, you still there.
I might as well have just went in the AC. You know what I mean? I'm sitting out there in the sun. But I wanted to be the cool visitor dude with the earring sitting outside rebelling. And my mama up there leading the choir. And I'm sitting outside acting the donkey. All I had to do was
simple, take the earring out.
Take the earring out.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the Bible tells us if it offends our brother.
That's what it says.
You know what I mean? That was an offense to that church. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't allow men to wear the garments of women. They didn't have men wearing the accessories of women. And that's how they were. You know, they were still in the Old Testament.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
And even though that's something that I could have explained, that this doesn't mean that.
Right.
You know what I mean? This
Absolutely.
is just a style that we all wear.
Absolutely.
And I assure you ain't nothing feminine about me. You know, we could have had a conversation at a later date, and I might have made it better for other guys that wanted to have an ear piercing back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's commonplace now, to make a long story short. But it wasn't right of me to take that stance on their doorsteps like that.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
And a lot of us do that, like, okay, this church ain't ran like your home church. Or this church ain't running like you thought churches should run.
That's it.
But if they've set up rules and guidelines within their church, the pastor saw fit or the board saw fit to do things this way in this church, this is what keeps us going the way, and we all going the same way together.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, it's just 2 hours of my day. You know what I mean? Just 2 hours of my day.
Yeah. That's right.
And I want to fellowship with these people. It won't kill me. Is it cancer? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Is it divorce? You know what I mean? It's not that bad. But on the other side, what do you think, sir?
Well, no. Look, what you said was so right. That's what they set up.
Yeah.
But I bring it back to now. But now you see, there's some still like that.
Yeah.
That's why you have to go to somewhere that you're, I don't want to say comfortable with, but you do that's actually teaching the Word of God from the Word of God. And actually not only teaching, but living it. Because you got some that still, they're teaching, but they're teaching.
How do you live it?
By doing.
Yeah.
You live it by doing. Because living is something that you do, right? You live, so you do. So you live the Word by actually doing what's in it.
Doing what's in it?
Yeah.
So because Paul had a gallon of milk and walked up a hill, I got to go do it?
No. Okay. Let me tell you what's doing the Word. And it's so simple how to do the Word. And it's only one word. Love. That's how you do the Word. You love. Everything else And if you think about everything that you do in your life, every situation that you're in, if you place love on it, see where it takes you. Before I talk to you any type of way, I'm going to do the word. That means I'm going to love you first. And I'm going to love you enough not to come at you sideways. That's how I do the word. Yeah. Because I love you. And then guess what? I'm not going to come at you sideways, but I'm going to tell you what? The truth. And there's ways, like my wife told me, she said, there's a way, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah, there you go.
So I could say something and it could be true, but how I said it to you was offensive. But it's true, but it's offensive. Now you done got on the defense because I said, man, you supposed to be doing. No, that ain't love. Mm-mm. That ain't love. Love is what? He say a soft answer turns away wrath, right? Mm-hmm. So now I come with you with a soft answer. Hey, bro, you know what? I was thinking about this. Mm-hmm. See, now that's the wisdom coming. The way God wants to bring it to you, because guess what? God knows you. And it goes back to this. If I have a relationship with you, I know you. Yeah. And I know not to come at you that way because you're not going to receive it that way. Mm-hmm. So now I come with love, and guess what? You may not at that time, but then you go back and think about it and say, man, you know what? Yeah. My brother was right. And that's how you do the word. Yeah. Love.
It's kind of like in that movie The Shack, how God was a woman first, and then when he needed a father with him.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean? He was a father.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He turned into the little old Indian man.
Yes.
Old wise Indian dude.
Yes.
That was a good movie. I always mention that movie. That's my favorite movie.
That was a good movie.
And if you listen to what Jesus said, and that just off topic a little bit, he pretty much said what you just said. You know, I want friends and family. You know, I just want to love. That's all we have to do is love each other. If you handle people with care,
that's it.
That's what it means to be Christian.
That's it.
You know, you take care of me, I take care of you, and not me taking care of you because you take care of me. I take care of you because I want to take care of you.
That's right.
What I get back is a bonus. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know what I mean? In my mind, I may think, well, you're supposed to do that. No, that's gonna kind of make it. If somebody bring you a plate of food and you tell them as soon as they put the plate on the table, you say you better have brought it. Man, I'm gonna push that table. I'm gonna put my finger on one of your wings. If you tell me that, and I just walked in the kitchen and probably let me test that one right there. How it tastes now.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? That's that the way we approach it. Like if that lady at the door had said, if she had been sweet to me,
man.
You know what I mean?
Listen,
but and something you said about when we know people and we have a relationship. Sometimes we don't have a relationship. And if you don't have a relationship with somebody, are you gonna just start talking crazy to them when you first meet them? Well, some people that know me know I do it immediately, but that's just my humor. But I got a lot of thoughts on that one. So when we come in contact with new people, we can't talk to them abrasively. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, take that earring out your ear. You're not coming in here. Like, hold on. Like, I ain't never seen you in my life. Who you talking to?
Absolutely.
Now, like the example you gave, now I'm like, you don't even know if I'm saved.
Don't know nothing.
Yeah.
Don't know nothing.
At that point, I was not.
Yeah.
So, all the flesh had everything
Yeah.
to do with my response.
Yeah.
You
All
wouldn't
of us
even
at
deal
that
with
age.
it.
Shoot.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you, at that point, even though, you know, since I was in the house with somebody that was soon to be a pastor, I wasn't able to develop too much of a church hurt behind that, but some people do.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean? My mother, after my mother calmed down, we still continued going to church.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
still continued singing.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
still
absolutely.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to be there whether I wanted to or not.
Yeah.
But when stuff like that happens to adults, and not just, don't get locked in on the earring thing, guys. There's just so many things you can apply in situations like that.
That's right.
You know, dealing with we have different misunderstandings with people in church about our children, what the pastor did or what the pastor said, what the church lady with the big hat, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you hear a lot of gossip. You hear everything you heard in high school.
And
Whenever you get people
that's it.
in close quarters like that, you're going to have a lot of drama. You know what I mean? And you're going to have a lot of cattiness. You're going to have a lot of dudes doing what dudes do. It's high school. It's always, in church, there's always that dude in high school that was running around trying to holler at all the girls. You know what I mean? There was a gossiper at high school. There's a gossiper in church.
That's right.
There's somebody sleeping with everybody in this person. There's somebody like that in church too. There's somebody lying that shouldn't be lying. That's it. That's in church too.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So don't go there with the expectations that these people are just going to be, you know, the true definition of Christianity is Christ-like. Everybody's not going to be Christ-like. You know what I mean? And even if they are, they're not like that all the time. You know what I mean? We are all flawed people.
Go there as if you're going to a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you go. And you go there.
That don't sound like nowhere I want to go.
But listen, because if say you got a bad cold, and you don't know what it is, you just coughing, so you go to the hospital, right?
Right.
But everybody in the hospital, they don't all have bad coughs.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have limbs messed up. Some of them have legs messed up. They got head injuries, eye problems, nose problems, lips problems, tongue may be out. All kind of different. It's all type of different issues. And that's what the church is. Because everybody in there has an issue. And what we got to do is say, okay, when I go, I don't expect everybody to be perfect. Because everybody in here has an issue.
Right.
And if you go with that expectation, everybody's not going to be perfect, then you go in there and it's just like a family, right? You got some cousins that you know that, all right, they still my cousin, but we can't hang out like that. You got some uncles, they still your uncles, you love them, but we can't hang out like that.
Right.
But they still your uncle. You still love them.
Yeah.
But there are certain areas in their life you like, nah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same way in church.
That's good. That's a good way to look at it.
It's the exact same. We know, hey, nah, I can't hang with them. Yeah, I love them. They come to church, but their attitude, it stinks.
Yeah.
And I can love on them, but I know, yeah, that's just not my group.
Yeah.
But then I meet, say you, bro, and I'm like, man, we click. I mean, it's just, we got the same, we going in the same direction, even though everybody's supposed to be going in the same direction. Yeah, bro, me and bro got something in common. He like to play golf, I like to play golf. Hey, man, let's get together. And that's like connect groups. What they said, I felt, we connect groups. So we connect to one another. There's a connection there. You may not fit in this group because we play golf.
Yeah, just like school.
Just like school.
And a lot of times you see like the sophomore or the freshman in high school or college, A lot of times it's so awkward for that first couple of years. Like you're trying to find your place.
Yes.
You're trying to discover, so
Man,
many
that's
different
good.
things.
That's it.
And the only thing, like if you were like me, like we moved a lot, so I never really found my place until I found, I figured out who I was.
Right. That's it.
Once I got real cool with me, my perspective on that experience changed. You know what I mean? I started wanting to go to school. I couldn't wait to get there. You know what I mean? Man. Because I started accepting people for who they were, and I accepted me for who I am. And I was fine. I was having a good time.
That's it.
They knew what they was gonna get when I came through the door. I knew what they was. You know what I mean?
Man, that is so good. That's it.
Yeah.
Because when you know who you are, then you can deal with you.
Yeah.
And then you ain't got to worry about it. Because I know me. So I know I can't do that over there.
Yeah.
Because I know me.
But that don't make me condemn those people over there.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Because I know me. I don't condemn them. That's what they got going on.
Yeah, that's them.
That's them. But me, this is who I like to be with.
Yeah.
This me. And guess what? Now I go back to the Bible. That's a hand over there. I'm a foot.
Yeah.
That's a hand over there. I'm the back. You know what I'm saying?
Should he cut it off?
Should I cut it off?
Yeah.
No, I ain't gonna cut it off because that's part of me.
Yeah.
But they got a different function.
Yeah.
And all of us got our different functions.
There you go.
And once we find our function, like you said, I found me. That's my function. Mm-hmm. So guess what? Stay in my lane. Yeah. And that's what I'm gonna do right here.
Yeah.
And that's how we live life together.
Right. So okay. So I threw out that scenario. So on the flip side of that, I keep coming back to that. How does the church deal with message testing? That's turning people off in the church. Now I know somebody. I think we have a hard time to deal with correction. If you're on the other side of the church, if you've been inside, you know what I mean. You don't been on the back side of the church.
Yeah.
A lot of times I know that some pastors get lazy and they don't want to replace Sister Mary at the door because they don't know who else they can find to do the door for them. So they leave her up there and they just talk to her. Hey, can you, they walk on eggshells. Can you please be a little bit, be a little nice. Don't talk to people crazy this week, Miss Mary. Make a joke about it.
Trying to make a joke about it.
Yeah. Like, hey, no, sister, hey. If I can't get you to do this job right, me being the leader of this church, if you don't do it right, I'm gonna move you out of position. I don't care if I have to do it. You know what I mean?
That's it.
We have to stop saying it's okay when we run in these churches and allowing people to do that. You don't know if this might be this person's, kind of like the theory. I like the theory of like Michael Jordan. When the reason he explained why he played like that every night, something we don't get from no other sport. So I just had to big up my dog. I talked to him last night anyway. But anyway, I'm gonna move on. But we have to get away from the thought of, people that come to church, these are just people that come to church. You know what I mean? They're gonna be all right. They're gonna accept all of what come with it. You don't know if this person's first time in a church in their life.
That's right.
You don't know what it took for this person to come to this church today.
Absolutely.
You're not in everybody, even if they've been here before, you don't know that I just lost somebody.
Yep.
You don't know that my child got locked up last night.
Yep.
You don't know if somebody shot one of my loved ones last night. You don't know what's going on with me this Sunday.
Yeah.
And you got Mr. Tessie at the door, checking me.
Wow.
Checking me.
That's
Ain't nobody from the church even bother to call all week. Not saying that they don't normally do, but we go through those times in our life when we got we one of the most social people in the world, but we have points.
That's right.
Where we're alone. Sometimes it's just us and God.
That's
us and God.
Man.
But that flesh is somewhere will remind you. Them jokers ain't checked on me all week. Ain't nobody checked on me all week.
That's what happens. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm on this side, not to defend that side, but I'm on this side today.
Yeah.
And you got Mr. Tessie.
Yeah.
Standing at the door, browbeating me. telling me what I can and can't do. I normally sit on that side. Why I can't sit on that side today, Missy? You know what I mean?
That's true.
You don't know if this brother walking in the door this week and you got Brother John up there at the door. He the flirt of the church. You don't know what me and my wife going through.
Yeah.
We didn't walk through the door together. You up here holding up the line, hugging my wife.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. That's
as a leader.
That's right.
As a congregation.
That's right. That's right.
In the true sense of congregation, we're supposed to correct each other. And as a leader, I need to make that correction. Hey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't be doing that at my door, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's it.
I've seen what you've been doing. I don't like the conversations I've heard about this. A lot of pastors get in position and they take themselves out of what's going on in their church.
And they think everything gonna be all right.
Right. No, keep going.
They think everything gonna be all right.
Close.
So
yeah,
what they do is and they leave it to everybody else instead of them. Hey, nah, I gotta check this. I gotta check this because a lot of stuff they know going on.
Yeah,
they know it. And if you ain't got other people that you put in place to get it checked, hey man, you gotta check it.
Yeah.
You have to, because what it does, it's going to destroy, and it starts destroying from the inside out. Because then what happens is, guess what? Now, it go back to what we said. Now, somebody else who heard that say, I'm coming, and first thing I say, my church heard was, I went in there, this joker flirting my wife. I'm telling somebody else.
Yeah.
And now this dude like, that need to go to a fellowship, and he's saying, well, me and my wife already having some issues. I know I can't go there because they got a joker flirting with somebody's wife.
Yeah.
And I'm having issues.
Yeah.
No, I won't go there. See? It go right back around.
Or they don't even bring that part up. But now you don't side with this guy's opinion of this church.
Yeah.
And now he just, and this is what people do. We compile other people's experiences. And this one little incident, we compile all this stuff together. And now we're telling everybody.
That's true.
That all this stuff happened to me. All of this stuff.
Yeah.
This one thing happened to me over here. But now we telling the whole story as if man, they ain't let my baby come in here and sit with me. No, they told me to take my earring out.
Oh man, that's so true.
They telling the whole story because if you listen to people sometimes, like when they talk about relationships, they talk about things as if all of that happened to them. Like men cheat, women got bad attitudes, and they talk to you crazy, or they try to fight you, or they want to curse you out all the time, and men always lazy and they bums and all of this. They ain't good fathers. They tell you all of this stuff. They go around telling these stories as if they experienced these stories every time they gave this situation a chance.
Wow.
So now you telling people that. And just like we realize sometimes that we're all impressionable because we're people.
That's right. That's right.
We're all impressionable. Anybody that act like they don't care what nobody else in the world thinks is lying.
That's a lie. It's a lie.
Yeah. That's what it is. If we understand that, we have to in order to change the narrative about some things, we have to stop false information spreading.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
If somebody asks you a question and they just asking you for a fact or the truth, just tell them the truth and that's it. Leave your feelings out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But so often we put our feelings in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's easy to do. And
a lot of times if it's negative, it's more so about you than what actually happened.
Well, that's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
Because, you flirted it with my... Well, you probably weren't flirting with my wife. You just flirted... This is your person. This is Brother John's personality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He probably come from a hugging family.
But at the time...
Yeah.
I was already in this situation. And that just compounded it like, nah.
But ain't nobody pulled, you know, it's just always two sides of a coin. Like, ain't nobody pulled the pastors or the brothers on the board or the people that work in the church. They haven't sat John down. Hey, man, that's not how we deal with women like that, brother.
We don't do that. You so right, bro. Thank God for that. That is so good. Because I can give you an example. I'm a touchy type person. Mm-hmm. And I would do this a lot. You know, I'd be talking to a lady and I hey girl, you know, I hit her, you know, touch her. And after a while, my wife, she said, listen, you got to stop touching these women. And I'm saying, what? All I did was, you know, hit her on the hand. I said, yeah, you know. She said, nah, you can't do that. You don't know if they want you to. You cannot be touching these women. And I thought about it. I said, man, you know what? Man, that's probably true because I don't know. You know, this person may not want me to touch, but I was just that type of person. Now, I pulled back, just like you just saying about, because she came to me and said, no, this is not something that needs to be done. Now, if I got a relationship with you, and I know, oh, you know, you don't mind me touching you or hugging you, or because I'm a huggy type person, then it's okay. But if I don't know you, like even the church, mm-hmm. and you come through the door and I'm like, you know, you and your wife or whatever, and I say, hey, bro, then I hug your wife. You be like, whoa, wait a minute. You know, so now I really crossed the boundaries because I don't know. You understand? So you're absolutely right. You got to know when and when not to. And a lot of times you err on the side of caution and not do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you never know who you're entertaining and what you're entertaining.
That's it.
You might be biting off more than you can chew. You might be stirring up some stuff. Well, you know, my husband ain't touched me in a while.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Absolutely.
And I needed this hug today, brother.
Yeah. No, I'm for real, man.
What that sister thinking? She needed that hug today.
Oh, let me tell you this, bro. I'm going to leave this alone. I got a friend who does massages, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm talking to him. He said, hey, man, you know, I do these massages, da-da-da. And I said, oh, that's pretty cool. He said, man, I got a bunch of them that's Christian ladies. And they be saying, ooh, my husband ain't touched me like this in a long time. I'm like, what? He like, and they Christians.
Man, please.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's I could have added so much dialogue to that, but yeah, you find that you don't know what's going to trigger a lot of guys. That's another conversation I want to have with you one day too. with us Christian men and us men when we get older, because I have an opportunity, unlike a lot of people, to hear a lot of things that guys think about marriage when they get into their older years.
Yeah.
You know, all that rubbing of the feet stuff you did in your 20s for your wife. Now, you're not doing that in the 40s and 50s and 60s. You don't care for her the way you did to get her. Now she's just an ornament in your life. You know what I mean? And I'm a single man, but just some of the stuff that I hear guys say, like they don't take them on trips and stuff like that. And there's some flip side of this. Some of these women mouth.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that.
but for when you get married, you're not getting married for what they do for you, right?
Right. That's true.
This is my understanding of marriage.
No, you're right.
So the stuff that I vowed to do for you, no matter what, I'm supposed to continue to do them.
Man, okay.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Dude, what you doing, man?
Hey, my bad. Just a little stump. That's all. You can wipe that off.
Man,
you can wipe that off. But
all right.
But listening to a lot of things, when it comes to, the church hurt, and I was talking to my sister yesterday. She said, well, there's nothing actually in the Bible about church hurt, but there's so many things about offenses in the Bible. And that's all, and this, I borrowed this from her too, because I was trying to study for this show, and I was like, there's really nothing I can study. There's really nothing. I can go over a couple scriptures, but it all means the same. It's just an offense.
Yeah.
And it's an offense that's not dealt with properly.
That's right. Absolutely. Great.
That's all church hurt is.
That's it.
And a lot of people don't know that that's what they're dealing with. They were offended.
That's it.
They were offended, or they keep getting on these platforms. When I looked on YouTube, I was looking all over places. And the first thing I did this morning, I turned my YouTube on the TV, and I was like, well, let me see how everybody else feels about this subject. See if there's some little clips out there, because I didn't do that yesterday. And I was like, there's so many forums for people to just spew out bad energy about church.
Yeah.
Even though they think they're doing something conducive to getting people to go to church, what you're actually doing is perpetuating this damaging conversation for the church.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
This conversation, at some point, you have to just let people. I heard a young person say what I said earlier. At some point, you have to allow people to purge. Well, they didn't say it like that. I don't really know. It was early. It was
but that's.
But you have to allow But I'm trying to remember exactly how they said it, because to me it was more there's more understanding attached to it. I remember it, and I posted it on the website, on the Facebook page. But when we deal with people that have been damaged by offenses in churches, and I know I said it in the beginning, we have to allow that space. You know what I mean? If
absolutely.
You can't allow somebody, if you're checking on somebody and you ask them what's going on, and they begin to tell you what's going on, and mid-sentence, you cut them off where I went through that too, and this how you deal with that. You know what I mean? Again, you haven't allowed me. Sometimes a person just has to get it out. Like, you just have to get it out of you. It's like when you're dealing with anything, when you make your confessions with God, when you ask for forgiveness, you know what I mean?
Yes.
From God, you have to, once you get it out and you give it to Him.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Now I can rock with this.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Now I can go on about my day.
Absolutely.
It's off of me now.
Absolutely.
I gave it to who's supposed to help me deal with it.
That's right.
And not saying that I don't never have to revisit this topic ever again, because me and God are gonna have to commune on this subject. Yes. You know what I mean? Whatever this struggle is, whatever this pain is, we're gonna have to deal with this again.
That's it.
But once I get it out, that's the most important part of it, is that now I'm not carrying it the way I was yesterday.
Man, that's so good.
And this is a charge on us as Christians.
That's so good.
You know, we're like myself on today's show. I'm gonna have to say it again. I've been so long-winded, because I was excited about this show. But
it was good.
we don't allow each other, you know what I mean, enough space to be people. And as Christians, we once you put on that brand, you are now a spokesperson.
That's right. That's it.
You are now a spokesperson. So whatever you do, it goes from you to your church to all churches.
Flex.
Christ.
Yep.
Christ.
That's right.
They looking at Him. They're now charging God with your offense.
Yep, absolutely.
They're charging Jesus with your offense.
That's it. Absolutely.
I don't want them to look bad because of something I said or didn't do or did do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want him to look bad. And it's just like, and for those of us that don't understand that thought, it's like your dad. My dad will tell you my family name means something to me.
Yes.
So if you go out here and act a fool at this schoolhouse or at this store, anywhere in this community, that reflects back on this family.
Yes, that's right.
If you're saying that you're a part of this family,
yeah,
You out here damaging people, and you don't care. Not only do you not care how that makes you look, or maybe that's the look that you're going for, but when you put on this brand, you're saying that it's okay for this family to look like this.
That's right. That's right.
You're not thinking about us in totality.
That's right. Now, fellas, and anybody else says, listen. Let me put this disclaimer out there. We all make mistakes.
No, we don't, Tony. I'm perfect.
Yeah, no, we all make mistakes.
Did you see my socks today, Tony? They perfect.
No. So we all make mistakes. So what I'm saying is, don't beat yourselves up, because it can be changed. You know, we can always come back and hit reset.
I appreciate you being so PC.
That's all I'm saying.
But sometimes as men, we need to be gut punched.
Okay,
They need to lick their wound.
We can all come back and press reset.
Yeah,
and start
reset. Hey, Tony. Hey, we gonna reset them today.
I got it.
We gonna reset them today.
That's good.
They because in this culture, and that's a natural instinct that we have, that once we correct somebody, now that I don't think Jesus was outside hugging people after he whipped them in a synagogue. No, you have to soak in your. You got to
get it right. I got you.
You have to feel
You're right.
And as men and as women.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I got you. You're right.
We know we doing wrong.
Yeah, that's the bottom line.
Yes, there's some people out here that got some warped thoughts on Christianity and church and God, and it's on so much we can do about that. But what we can do is start changing our attitudes towards people when they visit us.
Now that's a fact.
When they get in conversations with us.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? How we treat people.
I got you right.
Yeah, and you say, but you going in a restaurant arguing and tearing up the whole spot.
Man.
Your food wasn't right. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
You going in the workplace, you one of the biggest gossipers there. But you got a I Love Jesus mug on your desk.
Wow.
You inviting people to church, but you talking about everybody's business at church.
Wow.
I mean, at work.
That's,
you know what
like
I mean?
You just said, it reflects. It's representative.
Yes.
Representation of Christ, and you saying this how Christ is.
You bringing this all of us. Yes.
All of us as a family.
That's what you're telling. You're right.
Yeah. As
you
a
telling
family.
them.
Now you.
That's how we are.
Now, okay, I'm pulling.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
You telling them that it's okay for us to conduct ourselves this way. You know, somebody made a mistake.
That's pretty deep.
That don't mean you need to beat them down. You know what I mean? Somebody offended you at the door, that don't mean you got to punch them. You know what I mean? You out here fighting, you ready to fight every time somebody, what? That's you. That's your mentality. You want to fight somebody, but you also carrying this brand. You know what I mean? You ain't fighting for God. You fighting for your street cred. You know what I mean? You fighting for that, and that's not how this family rolls.
Wow.
That's what Daddy telling us. That's what Papa telling us.
Yeah, man.
We don't roll like that.
That's right.
You know, we break out the whips when it's necessary.
Yeah, that's right. Now that's
you
right.
Know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
But we got so many rogues out here that don't want to fall up under this umbrella only when it's popular.
Yeah. Now that's
only
a
when
fact.
it's a trend.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
You got the ring, the tattoos, the chain on, but you don't want to be a Christian 24/7. And you are gonna make mistakes. That's the only one I'm giving y'all. You are gonna make some mistakes. You right. Tony was right about that. None of us are perfect, but that doesn't mean. And aren't we striving to be?
That's it.
And dying to ourselves.
Absolutely.
Daily? This is another death.
There you go, bro.
This is another funeral for you to have.
That's right.
For that part of yourself.
That's
right. You know what I mean?
That's right. Absolutely. I agree. Yeah.
And we have to take that. We have to eat that. I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong yesterday when I was riding, and I didn't like the way the person was trying to bully themselves over into my lane.
Yeah.
So I was a punk. I was a butthole.
Now that.
And I slowed down a little bit so you couldn't get in. You know what I mean?
You see him get ready to pass, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna slow down. You ain't gonna get over.
Yeah, because I ain't like the way you tried to get over on me anyway.
Oh man,
You know what I mean? But a simple thing. But you got these, and I could have had bumper stickers of Love Christ on the back of my
all
car.
on the back.
You see some of the craziest stuff out here on the road, and people got T-shirts on. They in the
Yep,
store,
absolutely.
and you're all on your Facebook page, like the lady that had the Facebook page, love God, but called the lady a nigger in the store, a nigger B, a black. You know what I mean?
And she,
but you got I love Christ all on your Facebook, all on your car.
lie.
You know what I mean? And that's an extreme. But the people that's looking, the people that were injured were black people. And when we saw that,
Oh yeah,
we already got all this Pan-Africanism stuff going on, all these newfound religions going on. So if I see that after they put you out there on Twitter, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And they having these conversations
yeah.
on your thing about, okay, so that's what God people do? I don't want no God. Give me Allah. And I'm not, let me take that. I want to tread softly on that because I don't want to disrespect any other religion at all. And it's not about Islam. That was actually a mistake of mine. But they got so many other things going on.
That's right.
And I have some very close Islam friends. And I believe they're them convicted by their faith just as well as mine. So that's their thing. And this mine. But not those. That's not actually what I was trying to say. And I corrected myself, and God corrected me really fast. That's not what I was meaning to say. What I was meaning to say is that we got so many agnostic types within our community. People that don't have no faith in nothing.
That's right. Absolutely.
They don't have no relationship with any God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't have nothing, and you hear more of that than you hear about the division in religions. You hear so many people unsubscribe to anything other than what they have their faith in is how people treat them. And they see stuff like that, like that's another reason I'm not ever going to a church, a mosque, or I'm not get with them people with the fat boy, Buddha.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to do that. You know what I mean? They don't want to do none of that. When they see stuff like that, it's like we just turn them away so far from God. And she has the same opportunity we have to help guide people on this journey that we have, like the lady at the door.
Yeah.
And how we are at home with
That's
our
right.
family.
That's right.
Don't take me to church and then cuss me out in the car. You know what I mean? Don't talk nasty to me 6 days a week, and then it's all love and hugs on Sunday.
Yeah. See, you're a hypocrite.
Yeah. What you're teaching your children and your spouse this is what Christianity is.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what you're doing.
teaching your neighbor that sees all of that.
That's it. That's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. This is what Christianity is. You walk into your car, praise the Lord. I just heard you called your wife to be the other night
And here you go.
slap her. I seen that out my window.
Dude, that's...
You know?
This need to be...
We don't. It's such a heavy topic, and I don't want to take up your day with it because it's so many different realms.
Yes, it is.
So many different tentacles that we can touch on how we as Christians, because they're not making it up about us.
No,
they're not making up that some of us are out here just being rogue and making some crazy decisions, even though at the end of the day, you don't supposed to be looking at me like that.
That's right.
Going back to the beginning of this.
Expectations.
I'm going to make mistakes.
Yep.
I'm going to say some things I shouldn't say. I'm not going to always, approach this the way that I'm supposed to approach every day.
That's right.
I'm not always going to have this loving spirit about me every single day. And that's just the truth.
Right.
That's the truth. I go through things.
That's right.
You know what I mean? When I need to repent, I know to repent.
That's right.
And you shouldn't judge church based on
one or two experiences.
One or two, and it's usually just that.
Yep.
You might get 3.
Might get 3.
You might. And a lot of times, just like doing reviews we was talking about, that stuff ain't got nothing to do with the restaurant.
That's right.
Ain't got nothing to do with that.
That's right.
Dude, you talking about shoes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You talking about me, if I would have been that type of person, I'm talking about an earring I could have took out, and I probably would have enjoyed. That would have been 1% of that day.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
And 99% of that experience in church would have been great.
Yeah.
One, I would have had the air on me. You know what I mean? I probably would have got a word that I needed. The devil definitely intervened. It probably was something I needed to hear that day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what? To piggyback off that, to cut it still all go back to your expectation of what you're going for.
Right.
You know.
What should they be going for?
Well, see, they should go for what I go for.
Mm-hmm.
My expectation is when I go there, I'm going to be able to, and I could do it anywhere, but I'm going there to fellowship with my brothers and receive from God and to be in the presence of God in that atmosphere with all those believers.
See, that's one of the things that I hear a lot of people dispute.
That's what I go for.
Be in the presence of God. Isn't God everywhere?
Everywhere. But that's why I say in the presence of those believers who are all going in the same direction. That's why I go.
So it's see, that's a good one because that's based on how you hear that.
Okay.
See, and what you were saying, that meant what you just said, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people take that like, well, God ain't everywhere.
He
like
is.
That's another lie of the church telling me that I can only go here.
Yeah.
To be in God's presence.
That's not true.
But that's not what he was saying. That's not what you were saying.
No.
Be in the presence of the other believers fellowshipping, and that the presence of God during fellowship.
Right.
You know what I mean?
With everybody on one accord.
Big room. It's a big boom.
It's like you go. Okay.
It's a lot of.
You know what? I like that. Cause check this out. Now what? I'm gonna throw this in because I know we got. But check this out. You take one stick of dynamite, it can do some damage.
Mm-hmm.
But take a whole bunch of dynamite and put them in one room.
Yeah.
And light all of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Now you got a big boom. That's the presence of God.
Yeah. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I'm going to get all that. If I'm in that room, I want that.
I want
to feel that.
I'm going to get that experience.
Yeah.
This big boom. Now, I can stay home and still get the one boom because it's just me.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Boom.
Yeah.
But when I'm in the presence of everybody like that, we all dynamite and light us all at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And that big boom, the building explodes.
Yeah.
And that's God.
Yeah. More of it. And that's just like, you know, the conversations we used to have when we did the men's Bible study, like, because some of the listeners attended that too. When you're thinking about, I'm trying to put it in a way that y'all will understand what he's talking about. Like, I can be like how me and you feed off each other,
mm-hmm.
and we ignite certain thoughts in each other.
Right.
When you're in the presence of other believers, sharing the same energy with them, you're going to get something out of it.
Absolutely.
You're going to feel something out of that.
Yeah, man.
You're going to get a knowledge, just like we said earlier, like, hey, man, I'm struggling with a job. It might be a dude at that church that can hook you up with a job.
That's right.
That's God's presence.
That's right.
God coming on through. If you fellowshipping,
I love it.
You know what I mean?
That's it.
You're a part of this.
That's right. That's
you know
right.
What I mean?
That's right.
It might be a mechanic at the church that can fix your car, or somebody that's a realtor or got something. You know what I mean? Something you need is going to be
in that presence. That's right.
You know what I mean?
Boy, go ahead.
You might need a babysitter so you and your wife can go back to doing couples nights. Date nights. You know what I mean? You go to this church. You've been going a while. It's one little girl that do it. Everybody like her. But you would never know.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
And you know the funny part about you would never know if you just come in, don't talk to nobody, get the word, and leave. Don't say nothing to nobody.
Because you just clocking in and clocking out.
Because that's all you do.
I love what you said about work.
That's it.
I'm going to always remember
and that's all you're doing. You're just going to work.
Yeah. Clock in, clock out.
You clocking in, clock out. Say, I went.
Okay, Jesus, I'm here.
I went to work.
Yeah.
And now it's time to go home. Man, matter of fact, work get out. She'll be about 30 more minutes. We'll be finished. I'm getting home. You ain't talking to nobody, ain't saying nothing, ain't fellowship with nobody.
Right.
You just want to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you fellowship, just like you just said, man, and they talking, hey, bro, yeah, man, me and my wife, well, we wish we could have dating. Hey, you know what? Sherilyn, whoever, she babysit all the time. Man, she babysit for us all the time. Yeah. She great. What? Boom, there you go.
Right.
Now, guess what?
In
just
your
like
neighborhood.
In your
yeah.
Boy, stop. You wouldn't have never known.
Right.
If you wouldn't have went and fellowship.
Right.
That's the difference.
Yeah. You know, being in the presence of God is supply.
Come on, man.
It's life. All of this is attached to you.
So,
you know what I mean?
That's supply. That's so good.
Yeah. It's giving. He's giving you everything. He said he'll give you all your needs, even if it's just a babysitter. You know what I mean?
What do you say?
I'm gonna meet you at every season in your life. You know what I mean?
That's awesome, man.
Man, there's so much attached to it. So
yeah.
let me one more thing before we get out of here. So when you say you're a Christ follower, a follower of Christ, when you say you're a Christian, for men, how important is it for you to have some spiritual relationship you know what I mean, having a relationship with God? How important would you say that is for a man to have a relationship with God?
Man, I for me, I say it's very important because this is the reason why. When you, not only in the Bible, but when you look at other believers who are following Christ, there's so many good examples that you could look at them, and it helps you guide your life as far as your character.
The government of it.
Yeah. How you interact with your family. And you know, I got and my brother-in-law, I can say this, man. Dude, I look at him and how he interact with his children and how he interact with his wife, and more so his children. His wife is the same, but I'm looking at his children part of it. Ours was different, and we both was military. But he would more so talk to them. You know what I'm saying? And kind of show them the love. Hey, okay, you messed up. Well, let's just see. You know, I'm not saying he didn't. That was his form of discipline. Even though, you know, he spanked them too, but he really just talked to them. Now me, I was like, come here, boy. Mm-hmm. You know you ain't supposed to be doing that. Do it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And after a while, I started looking and started saying, man, you know what? It's a difference. But again, a man of God. And I was too and still am. But I looked at the difference. And as we got older, I started, my children, my young men, my sons started saying, listen, man, you know, when you start talking to them and really, like you said, letting them tell you and spew out all that they had in them, then say, okay, well, you know what? How about, have you ever considered this? Instead of me demanding, hey, this you need to do, I started taking from him and saying, have you considered this? Or consider this. Consider doing it this way. Man, made such a difference. Mm-hmm. Now I got one of my sons, man, listen. Both of them now, at one time, Joe wasn't call. But now, they call all the time. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Hey, Dad, just wanted to call. But I didn't used to get that. Yeah. They would call my wife. But for me, them jokers, I ain't calling him.
Mm-hmm. Kind of speak to you during the call with the wife.
Yeah, like, yeah. Hey, Dad.
Tell Dad I said. Hey.
Yeah, tell Dad I said. That's it. That's just so true. That's just so true.
You know, y'all been talking an hour.
Talking to his mom.
Yeah.
But now they call me.
Yeah.
And it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
You know, it really is. It's awesome. Hey, Dad, what's going on? We talk about stuff because now they men. They ain't no boys.
Mm-hmm.
These are men. You know what I'm saying? You think I'm always the dad. Yeah, you always the dad. These are grown daggone men.
Yeah.
They got their own families.
Yeah.
Things had to change. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I could have been in my prime. Guess what? Never would have had a good relationship with my sons. Never.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I'm your dad. No, that don't work like that.
Right.
But now, man, it's so beautiful. I love it.
That's awesome to hear.
I love
That's
it, man.
Great. That's great. So yeah, and you contribute. He's stealing, and you contribute. You contribute that, and the repairing of that relationship with your relationship with God.
Christ. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because that's how He treats me.
Yeah.
He don't demand on me. Hey, you better do. I messed up. But what He do? He just presented. Hey, son.
Mm-hmm.
Look, this is the way to go. You know, because it's beneficial for you to do it this way. You know what I'm saying? Not just, hey, if you don't do it, you're going to hell. No, that ain't how God do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a scare tactic.
Yeah.
Because that's what most people do. A scare tactic. But that's not a relationship. It is a relationship, but it's a bad one.
Yeah.
Because you scaring them into doing something you want them to do. God never does that. He does what? He loves us into it. And after a while, it's so much overwhelming love, you can't do nothing but turn around and say, man, I love you back. And I want to replicate what you've shown me to someone else.
All right. That's awesome. That's awesome. And that to me, that kind of puts the button on all of this, like how important it is to have a relationship with God is essential to manhood.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because you have that to imitate.
Yeah, that's
His
right.
love. You know what I mean? You have the guidance of a man in your life showing you how to be. You have that Bible showing you how to be.
That's right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And we can say what we want about the Bible. Again, that's one of the most, that's the most disputed book on earth. And there's all these stories about men walking with Christ. How to conduct themselves once they enter that relationship with Christ.
Yep. Absolutely.
Letting us know that, okay, yeah, you got to change the time frame around things. Like, yeah, this is so many thousands of years ago, but relationships don't change. People still require the same things they required then.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
we talk about how times change all the time, but that's time. Times do change. Times have changed.
Yes.
Man hasn't.
Ain't changed.
No.
Same.
Now, you can still endure the same things that you still enduring the same things you would have had to endure thousands of years ago. There's always going to be mayhem and chaos. There's always going to be all types of distractions in this world.
Yep.
But the basic tenets of being a man, those things still remain. It feels good to know that you can relax in this bed that I help provide. That you can relax in this house. That we're not living the way we lived 10 years
That's
ago.
right. That's
that
right.
I did what I was supposed to do, and this is the result.
That's it.
That I got you to college.
That's it.
That I got you to a vocational training school or whatever you choose to do after that. You know what I mean? As a father.
That's right.
I got you to where I needed to get you to. And you can very well feel like you did it yourself. You had to study, you had to do all of that stuff. But as a father, I know you weren't going to be able to do that if I hadn't provided the things that I provided to you.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
That's it.
Even if it wasn't money, it's just spending the time with you. Let's go play catch, son.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
Cheering you on when you out there playing ball.
Yep.
Or when you in that room studying, you did good. Here goes some food. That's your favorite burger. I went and picked up your burger. That might have been all I needed, but you didn't have to get up and stop studying because I set a burger on your desk.
That's right. You keep doing it. Keep doing what you're doing.
I'm supporting you.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm supporting you and
good.
loving you. This don't require money from me.
That's right. Absolutely.
Just being there, being a father. You know what I mean? All the way through, and we get this. It's amazing. We get to see the results of that work, and
yeah,
his work on me.
That's it.
His work on me is the same work that I got on you. You know what I mean? And another side of it, you know, being in those loving relationships with our spouses. You know what I mean? How to talk to.
Yeah.
How to be with.
Man, that's a whole nother.
You know what I mean?
We
don't want to. You know, I don't want you to go nowhere crazy, Tony.
That's a whole.
Yeah, but hey, thanks guys for listening.
Yeah,
and I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, bro,
I appreciate you, man.
Always, man. Always.
And then this has been Cut Different. Cut Different on all platforms, all streaming platforms. Catch us on Apple. Spotify. I'm old now. Let me think of them. iHeartRadio, Pandora. You can check us out on all streaming platforms. And as always, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with your boy. This is Cut Different. It's your boy G. And you know I gotta say it. You know, these are my 2 cents. Spend it or save it. You know, take it to Bank of America if you choose. But you might want to spend it, pull it out a little bit when you need to. It's going to be a time in your life you're going to be like, G said that. Brother Tony said, this is what they was talking about. This is that occasion. Spend it or save it, fellas.
Yes, sir.
This is Cut Different. We out of here.
I always, man. Dude, when I come here, I get some every time, bro. Bro, listen, man.